Hi guys! Okay, so this week is going to be, pretty quick recaps because not too much gaming is going to be going on with the nominations.
It's not very exciting.
No, so we'll just go
pretty basic.
quickly through the HOH competition.
It was basically putt-putt. You could either go for prizes or you could go for
HOH.
Power HOH. You can go for both, right?
Yeah, so basically it was like one long row of numbers, and one side was 10K and the other side was HOH. You could putt 3 different times, so theoretically you could have won 10K and HOH, but
that did not happen.
Cody ended up winning
he got a
HOH
2.
getting a 2, and Tyler and Danny split the 10K because they both
editing,
got 3.
Yeah, I will give the editing some credit for that. That was funny to watch them both pretend they didn't get it and to say, oh, I bet who got it's mad they had to share, when it's like those two. That was a good one. I liked that moment. It was funny.
Same thing with Nicole and Danny. Apparently,
no, that wasn't funny. That was just stupid. I was like, I thought they were friends, like real friends. Why would you treat your real friend like that? Janelle would never do that to Kaser.
No,
because they're real friends.
See, yeah. So Nicole and Danny both, I think, know that the other person also voted, but they're lying to each other.
So it's just so like pointless. But whatever. Play your game.
So Cody won HOH, and it was pretty obvious that Kevin and David were going to go up, which is the nominations.
But
there was talk about Christmas possibly being a backdoor option, but that was really it, and it kind of got shut down because really only Danny
really
and Enzo kind of wanted Christmas to be a backdoor option.
But
like everyone else is pretty.
Memphis
doesn't. Christmas obviously.
Tyler
doesn't.
obviously doesn't.
Yeah, so it's a minority.
Christmas doesn't. Obviously, she doesn't want to be backdoored herself. Yeah. Dirt.
Yeah, but like she's partnered with Memphis and Tyler, who are not gonna.
Yeah, even though they're annoyed with her too. Like no one can actually stand the girl, but.
They're also not going to get rid of her because it'd be like getting rid of Rachel Riley. Like, why would you want to get rid of Rachel Riley until, the end? Because, I mean, if you keep her around, she'll get people out and she'll also cause drama. As long as you're not involved in it. The really only major conflict this week was between Kevin and Cody.
Kevin bucked up a little bit. Yeah. He's sick and tired of being on the block.
Yeah, so this is Kevin's 5th nomination. I think he's been nominated at least every other week.
Yeah.
And this is now back to back.
And he's like, what the heck? It's like, well, obviously, like, what do you mean? I don't get why it's, like, surprising, but it was, it was like season 11, Kevin, like, jumped in for a second and was willing to, like, have something to say to Cody, which was nice to watch because it's just been so sad.
Yeah.
The Eeyore and he still had his blanket. Okay, he still had his blanket with him.
What's it, Linus from Charlie Brown?
Yeah.
Has his blanket with him.
That's Kevin.
I mean, whatever situation he has going on with his blanket is up to him, but it's just a little weird.
It's a little comical, I don't know.
So basically, Kevin went up to talk to Cody about nominations. Cody BS'd him the whole time, and Kevin eventually got sick of it, saying,
oh, poor you. You're HOH. You have to put me on the block. Like, the world doesn't revolve around you.
And
like,
the full conversation started to get more heated when Kevin was saying, like, so, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And Cody's like, well, I tried talking with you, but you never talked with me. And Kevin was like, well, every time I entered the room, you guys would stop talking. Like, and Cody was like, so every time I was in the room? And Kevin's like, it's not about you. It's not, the whole world doesn't revolve around you.
I'm saying, like, pretty much the whole group of you.
Yeah. And then Kevin was like, why are you feeding me all this BS of, like, whatever? And then Cody straight out, none of this was on the premiere episode, but Cody basically said, like, Kevin, I have no problem telling you I'm going to put you up on the block. And Kevin was like, so why are we having this BS conversation then? Like, this is pointless.
Yeah.
And
just
Kevin,
say your mind's made up, this is what you're doing, and that's that. Yeah,
so Kevin, and then Kevin, of course, was like, oh, I could see you're big mad, so I guess I'll leave. And then Cody...
I was like...
Yeah. So Danny has been filling in Cody about some of the
there was definitely
the talking that Kevin has done about Cody.
Yeah.
So now it's confirmed in his head that Kevin has been talking bad about him.
The whole world's talked bad about you, Cody. Derek had to set you up for this whole season. Like, you couldn't do it by yourself.
It's looking like Nicole and Cody are going to make it, you know, if not to the final two, to the very, very end, whether it's final four or whatever. I don't see them going anytime soon.
Unfortunately, it's very on brand for 2020 and even this season of All-Stars. Because it's not All-Stars. That's not All-Stars.
This is, you know, fan favorites mixed in with producer favorites, mixed in with people that I guess were free.
Who didn't have COVID.
Yeah.
Even though Cody should. He's getting
he doesn't believe. I don't know if it's like, it's not that he doesn't believe in it. He believes it's like, oh, well, it's been around.
Yeah.
But that, I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
It's,
He was like, I'm going to go to Vegas after. And Danny was like, you know, COVID's, you know, happening. And he's like, Danny. And like, Danny was like, what?
He's
what do you mean? And Cody's like, it's not real. Basically, to that point. So, that's
Danny still thinks, like, his shit doesn't stink. And Cody is like, oh. Yeah, so Christmas was heated. Like, if she had her car, someone was getting run over.
She even said, like, sure. I was gassed. And I was just like, good thing you're not in the real world.
Wrong use of, like, words, Christmas. Like, you're setting yourself up. Like, she was so mad she didn't win when she, like, I didn't really understand why she was that concerned about it, but I guess it really mattered to her. I don't know.
She's a competitor. She came there to fight, and now she wants to, like, prove herself or whatever. It's like, we get it. But, okay, so one interesting thing about this season is that Memphis won HOH and Veto second week. Christmas won HOH and Veto in, what was that, the 5th or 6th week? Sixth week. And then Cody now, in week 8, has won HOH and Veto, which...
Cody won the Veto!
I think in Big Brother 14 that happened a few times, where the HOH would win the Veto. But I think it's kind of interesting that that's been happening this season, because
like so often.
They have not used it when they've won. Because, I mean, why would you? I mean, you would use an opportunity to backdoor someone. But
yeah, but they don't play like that, because this is not All-Stars.
So Cody ended up winning the OTEV competition, and David won 10K, which was not going well with the house, because apparently... Because
David can't do anything.
He can't do anything right.
God forbid a POC have an opinion, or win anything,
win something,
feel some type of way about anything.
Yeah, let's just talk about the fact that the last two, and like, again, no matter like if it's the way it was going to go or whatnot, the last two Black House guests are the ones that are nominated.
Like, it just doesn't look...
It just doesn't look good, like, whether or not, like...
It just feels wrong. I don't know, I don't like it.
It feels very, like, they are not in the alliance, and it's coming off kind of weird. But again, you know, that's... I'm sure the house guests probably know that, but they don't care to change anything. So, that happened, and David said that he was going to donate it to certain charities, and
which is awesome, and the house is still giving him crap for it.
Mainly Christmas, and mainly Memphis. He tried to explain it to Christmas, and Christmas was like, I would never do that, and like, that's not like a normal thing. And
oh my God, Christmas made something entirely about herself.
And Cody was like, that's such a rookie move. I'm like, well, he's never played the game before, so.
He is the rookie.
And like, if he knows he's gonna go soon, like, why wouldn't he take money? I don't understand.
I mean, I don't really understand that either. I mean, I personally,
if it's out in the open, I would be more cautious about it.
Yeah.
Like, if it was the HOH where it's anonymous, I would have 100% gone for it.
Yeah,
but
probably.
When it's OTEV and like everyone's watching and everyone's in the backyard, it's maybe like
not. I don't know. It depends. It really depends. Like, if I knew for a fact that I was going home that week, like it was a 99% chance, I would definitely take the money, because I'd be like, especially in the position he's in, because it's like, it doesn't matter if he wins, he'll be good for what, a week? These people are not going to work.
They're not going to keep.
These are preset alliances. He is their target regardless, the target of everybody else in the house but Kevin, like, I'd be like, well, I can walk away with something. You know what I mean? I don't know. But that is a particular
honestly,
situation.
I feel like at this point...
And it's like, let him do what he wants to do. What do you mean? Like, who cares? They take any chance they get to, like, hate on whoever, whenever. It's crazy. I know it's boring in there, but jeez.
I feel like at this point, David is 100% going to stay over Christmas. Well, yeah, for the eviction, but also I feel like they're going to target their own alliance before they get rid of David, because why would you get rid of David when he's not going to come after, you know, Cody, Tyler?
I would sort of think, but they're just not that logical. So I don't think so.
I mean, Danny's really the only one that's been thinking of Christmas, so maybe. Yeah, it doesn't look good for David. Kevin's 100% going. I don't see Cody using the veto for Kevin. He wants Kevin out of the house.
Yeah, now he's mad. He's big mad.
Yeah. So
definite tension between Nicole and Danny, even though they're friends, like we mentioned.
Yeah,
and
they're lying to each other.
We've seen it on the live feeds, but this is the first time they've truly, like, really
they're
showing
talking
it on
about
the
each
show
other
and everything, and in the diary room.
Mainly Nicole is talking about Danny, then Danny.
Surprise, surprise.
But
Danny will be a bitch to your face, but Nicole is... That's so mean. She's a BATCH. Behind your back, that she's a snake. So that's interesting to see. CBS isn't editing it out completely, so that's
but they're being picky about what they choose to edit, which again, they have every right to. I don't have to be happy with it. And that's really all we had to talk about this week.
Ain't nothing else to say right now.
We will see how the veto competition episode goes. In the veto ceremony, and then we'll see who gets evicted on Thursday. But it's leaning towards Kevin at this point. Not surprising.
I might miss his blanket. I probably won't. I don't know. This season is just a wash anyway.
I think it is interesting, though, that now the jury, if David goes home the next week, will be... That would have been Bailey going home, Ian, and then Davon, Kevin, and David, which is... However way that looks to you, take it that way, because it looks very bad from my perspective.
I mean...
And before Bailey went home, Keister went home. So, yeah. A man hasn't gone home since Ian, and hasn't gone home since Keister. Take that as you will.
And that's that. Like, comment, share, subscribe.